Welcome back to Yokai Inspirations, which is kind of a horrible name, so from this point on, I'm going to be shortening it to Anime Inspired, where we're going to talk about history, mythology, or literary inspirations behind the characters, imagery, and settings in anime and manga to show you where some of your favorite elements of these series come from. Today we're going to be talking about a demon in Inuyasha which inadvertently might have been one of the most impactful beings in the entire series, that being Shibugarasu. If you enjoy this series, please remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more. I'm going to be trying to make one of these a week from now on because, honestly, the history content is some of my favorite, so I'm hoping that you enjoy them too. If you would like to join the Discord and become a part of our community, or if you're looking to support the channel a little bit extra through Patreon, you can check out both links in the description down below. Finally, you can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at AxelBeats. With that all being said, let's talk about Shibugarasu in the Inuyasha series itself. Shibugarasu shows up in the second episode of the anime, and we first see him spying on Kagome before being chased away by Inuyasha. Soon after, the demon disguises itself as the leader of a band of thieves and kidnaps Kagome. As they attempt to attack her, Inuyasha arrives and knocks the demon back. As the bandit leader gets back up, we see a hole in his chest, and as Inuyasha goes in for an attack, the crow flies away, stealing the Shikon jewel. As Shibugarasu flies away, it uses the jewel to transform into a massive, grotesque version of itself, something which doesn't last too long as Kagome manages to shoot it down with a sacred arrow, accidentally shattering the jewel in the process. As I said, Shibugarasu is not exactly a long-lived opponent, but without them, the jewel would never have been shattered and the series would not have progressed in the way that we saw it. So, with its role in the story out of the way, let's take a look at some mythology. Specifically, we're going to be talking about Japanese yokai, and here we're going to be looking at the Kotengu and the Yatagarasu. We're going to start with the Kotengu because we've already covered the Tengu in general in my Toga video, which will be linked at the end of this one. The Kotengu, sometimes called the Karasu Tengu or the Crow Tengu, was typically found in mountains, caves, and forests, often resembling a large crow with human features in hermit robes called yamabushi. It can also often be seen wielding weapons or other tools that they've stolen from humans. Kotengu are thieves and hoarders by nature, collecting magical items and basically being absolute bastards, commonly being known for eating or kidnapping humans, torturing them, killing for fun, and, forced hanky-panky. Basically, if it's something savage and horrible, they love it, especially if they can inflict it on monks or clergy. And these are just the things I can mention on the channel that aren't going to guarantee me getting demonetized. But either way, just by taking in all of those factors into consideration, and then looking at the story of the Shibugarasu, it is a dead ringer. In Inuyasha, his bandits kidnap Kagome, who is essentially a priestess, and they were 100% going to force themselves on her. The group of bandits themselves is essentially an embodiment of the behavior of the Kotengu. Moving on to something a little bit less horrific though. We have the Yatagarasu. This can take a few forms, but ranges between a few definitions typically, sometimes being called the giant crow, three-legged crow, or golden crow. Most accounts of the Yatagarasu will depict it as having 3 legs, which doesn't really fit with Shibugarasu. However, this is a myth which, partially at least, doesn't actually originate in Japan. And if we look back to the 9th century in Japan, it almost always is seen as having 2 legs. However, it was eventually combined with the story of China's 3-legged crow and became the story which is common today. The story basically sees Yatagarasu as an incarnate of a Japanese deity who led the first emperor of Japan, Jimmu, on his path through the Kumano Mountains, where he would essentially start the country of Japan in Yamato. I'm leaving out a lot of details of this journey because they don't really involve Yatagarasu himself. However, when looking at this story, Yatagarasu is typically seen as someone who is leading in a new age. His minor involvement in the story of Jimmu would be massively impactful in the future of Japan, in the same way that Shibugarasu stealing the jewel is in itself not very significant, but would lead the jewel to shattering and bring in the true beginnings of the feudal fairy tale. But that's what we're going to call it this time. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as well as considering checking out my Discord or Patreon in the link down below. Speaking of Patreon, a big thank you as always to our Dai Yokai, Ikerochu, Jacob Wiley, and Iffy Babes, our Yokai, Anel Cruz, Bloodwolfmon, Jamie Heck, Joker Rose, Lucifina Akuma, and Sayo Arundel, and our Hanyo, Anthony Hogan, Brunette Thrasher, Kasim Salim, Love the Kiwi, Michael Grayco, Nega Kitty, Randy Moseyman, Samantha Olsen, Savage Camel, Simon Electric, and Kiwi Dog. As this is the first updated list of patrons for the month, I'm also going to be listing off our Demon Slayers. So a thank you to Amelia Hellman, Ashley Anthony, Ashley Fiorenza, Brittany K, Cairo Nito, Daniela Lane, Desiree Snow, Elijah Haddad, Gabby Sparts, Jade Legasic, Jay Dragons, Jenny, Jesse Coons, Kimchi Baby, Lauren, Laz Elliott, Mariana, Megan Catherine, Morgan E. Wolf, Neko Ona, Pear Bear, Raindrop Nana, Red Velvet 1920, Robin Lin, Rukus, IDK Sensei, Van Shineski, Michelle R., and Ziv Menahem Bleich. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, remember to stay excellent.